There's some interesting reports coming out of Israel this morning that the Israelis are very concerned that the isolationist elements in President Donald Trump's administration are drawing him farther away from the American-Israel alliance. This concern has been expressed by officials in the Netanyahu administration and in the broader Israeli government. There are several instances that have given them pause recently that have them concerned about President Trump's administration and what they see as potentially waning support for Israel. Here are the instances. First, several weeks ago, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu visited the White House. During that visit, President Trump announced that America would be holding direct nuclear talks with Iran over Iran's nuclear program. This was news to the Israelis. The Israelis had no idea that this announcement was coming, and so Netanyahu essentially saw it as his being saddlebagged and surprised during his visit with Trump when Trump announced this news. And the Israelis were concerned about that because that's not typically the way that allies communicate. Announcing direct talks with Iran, with Israel's foe, Iran, which has sworn to destroy Israel. Second, just this week, President Trump announced a separate peace between America and the Houthi rebels, a terrorist group in Yemen. Now, the Houthis have been firing rockets at Israel, trying to disturb Israeli shipping lanes in the Red Sea, and they've also been attacking American ships and American shipping lanes in the Red Sea. The Houthis this week fired a missile that landed just outside the Israeli airport and caused injuries and came very close to inflicting massive casualties. It was a real wake-up call for the Israelis that the Houthis missile penetrated their vaunted air defenses. Just a couple of days after that attack by the Houthis, President Trump announced that the Houthis had communicated that they would be ceasing their attacks on American ships in the Red Sea. The Houthis vowed to continue their attacks on Israel. And this apparent agreement between the Trump administration and the Houthis does not include Israel. And so the Israelis are concerned, and the Israelis were not made aware of this separate peace between America and the Houthis before Trump announced it. Again, not typical of the American-Israel alliance, where there's typically close communication. So no consultation there gave the Israelis pause. Finally, this week also, President Trump is headed to the Middle East. He's going to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates. He has so far declined to include Israel in that trip. The Israelis have expressed concern about that. They've invited him to make a short visit during his trip to the Middle East. So far, he's said he's not doing that. He said he'll come another time. But the fact that the United States president is coming to the Middle East and not visiting Israel, but rather visiting other countries there that have complicated and sometimes adversarial relationships with Israel has given the Israelis pause. And these dynamics collectively are giving pause to some in the Israeli government who believe that the isolationist strains in the Trump administration are exerting increased influence on the president. Among these isolationist officials, there are also officials who've espoused anti-Semitic views, anti-Israel views. There are also officials that have just the opposite views, that are pro-Israel, and the Trump administration has taken many steps to support Israel as well and to fight anti-Semitism, including through the President's Anti-Semitism Task Force that has begun enforcing civil rights law violations against Jewish students on college campuses. More recently, collectively, these measures, these steps taken by the Trump administration are giving the Israelis pause.